What's up, guys? Today I'm going to do a little tutorial here on how to do the conflict game mode to help out the new players, mainly the PlayStation 5 guys. So let's get started here. So first off, when you start the game, normally it's going to have 48 players. There's probably going to be a queue right now with all the new people. But if you're joining friends, you want to make sure you know what team they're on, because once you join, and you click this, you're not going to be able to change teams for the entire match. Some of these matches can last 4, 5, even 8 hours at times. I've seen them go that long. So be aware, make sure you know what your friend's team is, and make sure you're joining the right team. So let's hop in. So you can look for your friend's team if you have a friend in there. I usually just go for, whatever team has the most players, and, you can try to work with them. They might show you the ropes. If not, you can just start your own team and start your own group, and you can change the name, do whatever you want. You can lock it so nobody can join you. But yeah, let's just start this. Hop in here. So as you can see, we're gonna have 1 point. That's our main operating base. This is what it's gonna look like when the game is fresh and just starting. Um, this this isn't the best scenario because it's only this point. Usually you'll have 2 or even 3 points you'll be able to capture at the start of a game. But yeah, so let's get into the main operating base. So at the start of the game here, you can see this is a fresh game, fresh start. This is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna start you with some vehicles, so you can, move to the first point because there's nothing to spawn anything or get your gear yet. So the first thing you want to do is you're gonna hop in here. You're gonna go to the buildings. You want to make sure you're not putting down a bunch of random stuff. So the first thing you're gonna want to put down is the ammunition supply point, and that is going to be able to customize your loadout. And this is for every base you come across. You're going to want to have one of these, not only so you can customize and save your loadout, but once one of these is placed at a base that you captured, you're going to be able to spawn with your customized loadout that you have saved. If the base does not have one of these arsenals placed there, you're not going to be able to spawn unless you have the basic loadout. The second most important thing for every single base you come across, not just MOB, is a radio relay. Why this is important is the radio relay is what extends your coverage to other bases so you can capture them and communicate further with your teammates and the entire team. So let's get out of here. So I'm not really going to go over keybinds because it's going to really be different for everyone between console and legacy controls and non-legacy controls, and I'm on PC obviously. So yeah, to build these you're going to want to have a shovel. The kit you spawn with should have a shovel, and so for me I'm going to hit 0. That's how I get the shovel out of my quick bar. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit build, which is F for me, and then I'm going to build this up. So what's also good about building things at objectives is that building will slowly give you some XP or rank over time. So you're going to start as a private, and to spawn certain vehicles and certain things to place in the tent menu, you have to be a certain rank. And to gain rank, the best ways to do that, I've found, are building up bases, moving supplies to bases, and capturing bases, or holding them, securing them. Alright, so I'll explain why placing this radio beacon here is also important too. So having a radio beacon not only extends the communication range and what bases you can capture, but it also makes supplies come faster to whatever base that you build it on. And you're going to want to just have both of these things put at every base. You want a radio tower and you want a arsenal box for those reasons. Here, so let's look at the map. So now I placed a radio beacon. Not only can I capture Washington, I can capture all these points just because I placed that one radio beacon at this place here. Also, you can see the arsenal is letting us have more supplies than the tent alone could have. So now I can have 2,700 supplies at this base because I placed the arsenal. Now, these are the first two things that you're going to want to place at every base. The next thing you're going to want to place is a light vehicle maintenance point. This is going to be able to spawn vehicles so you can travel to the other bases and capture them because these vehicles will only spawn here at the very beginning of the game. Once these vehicles are taken, they will not respawn. You're going to need to build one of these points or the large vehicle points to get the trucks. Oh, and you can do all this stuff in third person as well. I just prefer first person. So now we have this thing here. We can request vehicles. So here, these are the vehicles you can request right now, and they'll take you from point A to point B. If you want the armored variants or the armored variant with a 50 cal, you have to be a certain rank. You got to be corporal, right? You start as a private. Now to check your rank on PC, you hold J. It'll show you the objectives that you need to capture, which ones are most important or selected, and it'll also tell you your rank. Alright, so let's say you spawn. This is already built, this is how MOB will probably be looking when you spawn. It'll probably all be built for you already, so you won't have to worry about this. But you're going to want to build a loadout. So for that, you go to the arsenal here, you open the arsenal. I usually like to take a couple extra bandages, a saline, one extra morphine, and that's it. You can take some of this other stuff, but it's not really important if you're just getting started. So this weapon here you have, this is the base gun that you get, the M16. So it is in single fire or it's in 3-round burst. Those are the only options on this gun. So some people like that, some people don't. If you don't like that, you can go to the arsenal here and you can take one of the M16 carbine variants. They have fully automatic capabilities. So let's just show that for example. So let's say I want the M16 carbine, take one of those, and I want to put a red dot on it. So I'm going to just drag it there, put that on, and let's take a law. Let's take a pistol, because if you get knocked unconscious when holding your main gun, you're going to drop it on the ground. So I like to carry a pistol. If I wake up from uncon, then I can quickly switch to that pistol, and if there's enemies nearby still, I can take them out if I'm not able to, pick up my weapon fast enough. So I like to take a couple extra mags. I usually like these. Because the tracers for me, if it's a full mag of tracers, it's obviously going to give you away. But even with the last, tracers on top at the end, sometimes I feel like that'll give me away if I'm trying to be stealthy. So I usually just take the steel cores instead of the ones with the tracers at the end. But that's just my preference. If you're new, the ones with the tracers might be better because it'll kind of show you where you're shooting, and it can show you, what you're aiming at if you're confused a little bit. But I'll just take these. I usually take 10 to 12 magazines, so we'll just take 10 just because I don't want to be too, because look at this update, weight is important. You don't want to be overweight. If you're overweight, you're going to move slower. You're not going to be able to run as far. If you fall from heights, you can die. Fall damage will be increased. The more weight you have, you'll break your ankles. So be aware of that. You don't want to be too heavy, but you can also still carry a good amount of supplies. So take a couple of these, and you can also put suppressors now in this update. I'll show you how to do that. So you're gonna have to take off the flash hider, um, and I think you can also do that if you hit like this. See, you can pull it off and do that in this menu as well. But yeah, so now if I go in here, see this is a suppressor for the M16. Drag it on there. Now I have a suppressed M16. I don't think you can apply the bayonet with the suppressor either, so we'll put that back in the box just because we don't need the weight. So now you want to make sure you save your loadout. So you see I'm at 93. I forgot to grab some smoke. I like to have white smoke. 2, 3, 4 even. An extra grenade. And then, yeah, I like to keep my loadout at around 100. A little more, that doesn't hurt. But why you want to keep your loadout, around 100 is because it's just going to be able to allow you to spawn at many more places. You see, right now, this has 900 supplies because it's MOB. But if we capture one of these bases, it's not going to have any supplies. We're going to need to move supplies from here to this base. These green things are supply points. They'll be guarded by AI. You're going to have to take out the AI if you want to get these supplies, but it'll be, for example, if you get the supplies from here, it'll be a lot easier to move it to here quickly, and then you'll be able to build up the base like I did at the beginning, at that base. And so here, if you see my thing is only 100, so I'll be able to spawn here like 10 times. But at this base, if it doesn't have many supplies, if it only has, 500, but enemies are trying to take it over, well then 5 people will be able to spawn there before all the supplies are used up. If your kit's like 250, you spawn there, and other people have lower kits, then it's just not good. So the main goal of conflict is you're going to be 2 teams. Russia is usually going to start somewhere over here, in the southern half. And the US is going to start up somewhere over here usually, or it can be vice versa. But the goal of the game is to capture these purple points. The purple points are main operating bases or main bases. They usually have a lot of supplies at them, and they'll be hard to capture from players once they have captured them. So the green points, when you see green points, you are guaranteed to be fighting AI. Other players could be there, but 90% of the time, if you see green markers, especially if they're over here, then you're just can be guaranteed you're going to be fighting AI. But yeah, so the goal of conflict is to capture these main points. Whoever captures 5 main points will win the game. Also, it's important to capture these bases while the AI control them. It's going to be much easier if you work as a group to capture these AI bases than it will be to take a base from the hostile forces. So hostile bases will be marked in red. Right now I'm playing by myself, so we don't see anything. Also, if it's like this, that means you don't know. The enemies technically, if I had other players here, they could own Montana, they could own Delaware and Alabama. I would have no idea until I extended my radio range to hit theirs, and then I would know, alright, they own Alabama. The only time you'll know an enemy has captured a base is if they capture a main base, because it will go show here you'll gain a point. So for example, if I captured Missouri, it would show that US has 1 point and is in the lead to winning. You can see that right now I know I'm at main operating base because this is it shows that's where I spawned and I have not died yet. But let's say I didn't know where I am. I have no idea. I'm lost. So in the corner here, it'll tell me you are in northern Evron, south of the power plant. So I'm in northern Evron, south of the power plant. So that's a way that I'll know, alright, roughly I'm in this grid square, you know, I gotta move north or south to get to the next point. You know, you won't be able to see yourself on the map or other players, but you'll be able to see other leaders. Group leaders will be, their points will show up on the map, and you'll be able to see who's in their group. Also, there's going to be a day and a night cycle in the game, and it'll move dynamically, and you'll have to be prepared to fight at night when that comes. So make sure you got a flashlight, and yeah, you can hold the flash. You don't need to hold the flashlight like this either. If you hold the flashlight button, it will turn on your chest, and you can still, you know, use your weapon and have the flashlight on. And then you hold the flashlight button again, and it'll turn off. You know, you like fighting AI or you like fighting players, one of the best ways to get your rank up is to capture bases. So capturing bases, you know, let's say I select this, you want to make sure you hit accept too if you're going to capture a base, right? So you hit accept, it's going to give you more XP when you capture a base if you've accepted this, right? So if you're a player who's more geared to you know, combat, then you're gonna want to go and capture bases. Make sure you have the base selected, and you'll get even more XP for capturing that base. And also, killing other players and AI, you'll gain a small amount of XP. It doesn't show it, but you will gain XP from killing AI and other players, just not as much as capturing the bases. Now, if you are a player who's new or you're not really enjoying the combat as much, the best way to rank up to get a helicopter or to get, say, a armored Humvee is by moving supplies. So the best way, what you want to do with that is you'll get a truck like this. You get into it. I like to drive the third person. It's a little easier to see what you're doing. You'll bring it up to the base. You can also put it next to the arsenal box and load it. You'll go here. You'll load the supplies. And you'll see they're going into the truck. So the supplies are loaded. You want to So once you capture one of these bases, once they're captured, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like a blue point. You're gonna want to move the supplies from your main operating base to any of the. Once you capture these bases, the closest bases to you will probably be safe. There probably won't be enemies attacking them, you know, once you captured them. So at the start of the game, you want to take your truck and just move supplies to all the points that you have captured. Now, not only will this rank you up, but it'll be very important, you know, for the entire game, because you're building up the points nearest to you. They can now put down radio towers, arsenals, and eventually, you know, once you rank up far enough, you'll be able to place down AI tents. The living quarter tents will let you place AI. You'll also need supplies to place AI down, and the AI will defend the bases for you. So moving supplies from base to base is the key, really, to winning a conflict match. You know, logistics will win the game. And I suggest, even if you are combat geared, you know, start running convoys, supply convoys at the start of the game. You know, blast the AI or, you know, enemy players if you see them. You know, get the supplies moving, get your ranks up. Not only will you be able to spawn AI, you'll be able to spawn new vehicles, you know, armored Humvees. So getting your rank up, doing that at the start of every game, getting your rank up as fast as you can, and then you can really get into the action. You'll be able to spawn helicopters, better vehicles, AI. You can command AI if you're a high enough level and you are in charge of the group you're in. So, you know, leveling up is doing it at the beginning of the game or just when you first join, blasting through those levels. It'll make you enjoy this game a lot more, and it'll essentially help you win the game. So if you're wondering why, oh, we're losing, look at the supplies, see what points need supplies, and get the supplies to them so the enemy cannot take them over. Build the base up. Another tip you want to be aware of, guys, is the code names for your bases. So when you die, enemies can steal your radios, and they can listen in, and sometimes they'll even talk on radio and mess with you. So be aware of the code names of each base. So for example, if I'm talking about St. Philippe, I'm gonna want to say, base California. We need help at base California, because if I say on radio, oh no, help, everybody's dead at St. Philippe, enemy's gonna be like, all right, good, let's get reinforcements over at St. Philippe immediately, capture the base. So yeah, just be aware. You don't want to call it Tyrone, you call it Michigan. Main operating base is Illinois. So that's what you're going to want to refer to it over radio or in global chat. So also be aware, if you type it in global, everyone can see it. You can switch to your faction channel, then only your faction can see it. You can also switch to your group channel if you want to talk only to the people that are in your group. Also, local channel, anyone in the direct area, vicinity. Alright, so here for example we're in a conflict match, and as you can see, this is a conflict match. It's almost full, and I am on the United States team, so we can see all the blue points are the points that our team has. The red points are the bases that the enemies, the Soviets, have captured, and all the green points are AI controlled locations. Here's a supply point. It probably will have AI guarding it still. They'll respawn after you kill them all. After a while they will respawn. So be advised when you take supplies from these points. But as you can see, moving supplies from main base is probably your best bet at this point. The game's well established. We have almost everything built up here, and we have over 9,000 supplies, so you'll be able to take a truck and start getting your rank up right away. You can see everything is already built here, lots of supplies. You can get your kit set, and you can come over here, you can grab a small vehicle, or you can grab a large vehicle from this point over here. So also we can see, so this is a friendly, we can see his radio signal is 44 megahertz, and you can see who's in there, and you can change your radio signal if you want to talk to them directly, if you don't want to call them over team radio, which is 48. So team radio is 48. You'll be able to talk to pretty much everything. It can get a little noisy on there. Then you'll have your individual radio channels. For example, you can see this guy's 42. Couldn't talk to all of them. 39, and then you can see this is my group here. Altus Red 3. Mine is 40. So you can see that we're winning in this game. We have Oklahoma, which is a main point. We have Louisiana, which is another main point. We have Massachusetts, that's another main point. And then Georgia is another main point. So you can see right now, all we would have to do is take Vermont, California, or Missouri to win the game. Also important points are radio towers. So this radio tower, as you can see, look at how far it extends our signal. So we can capture all these bases now because we own Tower Regina, as well as Tower Entre Deux. Look how Tower Entre Deux is very important. As you can see, if you have control of Tower Entre Deux, you basically have control over almost all the map at that point. But yeah, Tower Entre Deux, Tower Regina, key points of importance. You can see we're losing Delaware. So if I wanted to, or if I was at the spawn menu, I should spawn. You see his points blinking like that, that's where you want to spawn. That means that there's enemies there and they need help. So blinking points, that's where you want to spawn. See, so also this is another key point. You see this, how many supplies we have here? But we don't have anything built at this point, so we can't spawn there. We can't really do anything until somebody puts a radio down, a arsenal down, and then eventually some vehicle stations. And that is why it's important to build up the base as soon as possible, because then if we had this base built up, we could start launching assaults from Alabama and push into Oregon. What's up, brother?
Just give me like 30 seconds, I'll be ready.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a tutorial here. I'm making a YouTube video. So
Oh, I see.
take your time, take your time. No, thought that guy knew me. Anyway, continuing on. Any point that's blinking, it means they really need help, and this is why you want to build up things. Yeah. Also, like this, you see, this is really bad too. If they take these 2 points too, then we'll be cut off. We won't have radio signal down below, and we won't be able to keep Georgia, which is an important strategic main objective. Other than that, I think that pretty much will wrap it up for this. Thank you for coming to my Arma Reforger tutorial TED Talk. See you in the battlefield, and if you want more tutorials like this, or if you want me to cover the other 2 game modes in this, which are Combat Ops and Game Master, let me know in the comments. Alright, thank you so much. God bless.